Good morning, students. In our last class, we have started the new lesson Climate of India. So, in that, we have completed some part of the lesson. So, the factors which affect climate are called climatic controls, and these include four types. One is latitude, and the second is land water relationship, and the third is relief. The fourth is upper air circulation. In that first one, latitude or distance from the equator, we have completed it. So now we will be continuing with the second part, the land water relationship. Look at a map of India showing land cover and water bodies, and you will see another important factor which has an influence on climate, the land and water relationship. The amount of sunlight that is first absorbed and then radiated back or directly reflected depends on the nature of the surface. Darker areas such as heavily vegetated regions tend to be good observers. Lighter areas such as snow and ice covered regions tend to be good reflectors. The ocean absorbs and loses heat more slowly than land. So, this affects the climate in many ways. One of this is the formation of land and sea breeze. Using figure 4.2, explain how this happens. Recall from class 9 the connection between pressure and direction of wind. So, if we look at a map of India showing land covered and water bodies, and we will see another important factor which has an influence on the climate. So, the land and water relationship. So, the amount of sunlight that is first observed and then radiated back or directly reflected depends on the nature of the surface. So, we all know that when the sun rays passes to the earth, when it will absorb some part of the heat from the sun rays, and these sun rays are reflected back again. So, darker areas such as heavily vegetated regions means which have high trees, high forest area. So, these areas tend to be good observers, means these areas will observe sun rays very nicely, whereas lighter areas, what are called lighter areas here, such as snow and ice covered areas. For example, we can take an example of our north in Himalayas. It will be covered with ice and snow. So these regions tend to be good reflectors. So the good observers is dark vegetated areas, whereas the good reflected areas is areas covered with ice and snow. The ocean absorbs and loses heat more slowly than land. So, these oceans will absorb the heat. So, when comparing to the land, the oceans will lose the heat very slowly. So, this affects climate in many ways. So, one of this is the formation of land and sea breezes. So, with this, we get land and sea breezes. So, using the figure 4.2, you can see here how does the moderate the temperature of such a place. So, here we can see warm air, cool sea breeze, and here cool and breeze, warm air means in day we can see cool breeze, sea breeze, whereas in night we can see warm air, whereas on land in day we can see warm air, whereas on land in night we can see cool land breeze. So it is quite opposite to day with night. So a large part of southern India, because of its long coastal line, comes under the moderating influence of the sea. As such, the difference between the temperature of night and day and that of summer and winter is not much. This is known as equable climate. If we compare similar places on the same latitude and altitude, we can appreciate the effect of the sea. So, the large part of South India, it is because of its long coastal line. Around the south, we have coastal, it is a coastal area, because to the left will be having means round three sides we have oceans, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean. So it has a long coastal line. So because of the coastal line, the southern India comes under the moderating influence of the sea. As such, the difference between the temperature of day and night and that of summer and winter is not much. So there is not much difference between day and night, and as well as winter and summer. So this is known as equable climate. So if we compare similar places on the same latitudes and altitude, we can appreciate the effect of the sea. Next is relief. You have learnt that temperature decreases as altitude increases. Hence, hills and mountains will have lower temperature than locations on the plain. Therefore, relief or altitude of a region influence the climate of the area. You would have heard about several hill stations of the Himalayan region like Shimla, Gulmarg, Nainital, and Darjeeling as places that have a cool climate even during the peak summer months. Similarly, Kodaikanal and Udagamandalam means Ooty have cooler climate compared to places near the coast. So here what they are telling is, we have learned that temperature, we all know that temperature, when temperature decreases as altitude increases. Hence, hills and mountains will have low temperature than on the plain. So, therefore, relief or altitude of a region will influences the climate of the area. And you would have heard about several hill stations of the Himalayan region. We all know the famous hill stations of Himalayan region like Shimla, Gulmarg, Nainital and Darjeeling as places that have a cool climate even during the peak summer months. So these hill stations are very cool even though in summer. And also similarly, Kodaikanal and Udagamandalam. Udagamandalam means Ooty. These two have cooler climate compared to the places in the near the coast. Means though the places in coast may not have much cooling like these two places, Kodaikanal and Udagamandalam. Next is upper atmospheric circulation. In the northern hemisphere, subtropical high pressure belt gives rise to permanent winds. They blow toward the equatorial low pressure belt by reflecting towards the west and are called trade winds. The German word trade means a track and stands for blowing steadily in the same direction and in a constant course. India lies in the belt of dry northeast trade winds. So here what they are telling is, in the northern hemisphere, subtropical high pressure belt gives rise to permanent winds, and they blow towards the equatorial low pressure belt by reflecting towards the west and are called trade winds. So blow toward which blow towards the equatorial low pressure belt. Permanent winds, they blow towards the equatorial low pressure belt by reflecting towards the west, and these are called trade winds. So the German trade is a German word which means track. Trade means track, and it stands for blowing. Blowing steadily in the same direction means these winds blow in the same direction with same pressure and in a constant course. And India lies in the belt of dry northeast trade winds. So India lies in the region lies in the belt of northeast trade winds. The climate of India is also affected by the movement of upper air currents known as jet streams. These are fast flowing air currents in a narrow belt in the upper atmosphere. About 12,000 meters, the speed varies from about 110 kilometers in summer to about 184 kilometers per hour in winter. An easterly jet stream develops at about 25 degrees north latitude. A jet stream causes the neighboring atmosphere to cool. This cooling effect of the easterly jet stream causes rain from clouds already found over this latitude. So, what is happening here? The climate of India is also affected by the movement of upper air currents, which are known as jet streams. So, these are fast flowing air currents in a narrow belt in the upper atmosphere. So, at the height of about 12,000 meters. So, the speed varies from about 110 kilometers per hour to means in summer the speed varies from 110 kilometers per hour to about 184 kilometers per hour in winter. So, an easterly jet stream, it develops at about 25 degrees north latitude, and a jet stream causes the neighboring atmosphere to cool. So these jet stream, what it will do? It will cool the neighboring atmosphere, and this cooling effect of the easterly jet streams causes rainfall from clouds which are already found over that particular latitude, which is 25 degrees north. Now seasons. Winter. The temperature in the Indian land mass considerably reduces from mid-November, and this cold season continues till February. January is usually the coldest month. Day temperatures sometimes drop below 10 degrees Celsius in several parts of the country. However, the cold weather is more pronounced in northern India. South India, especially the coastal areas, enjoy a moderate climate as temperature remains above 20 degrees Celsius. So here the temperature in the Indian landmass considerably reduces from mid-November, and this cold season continues till February, when we will be getting winter between November to February. So and we all know that January is the coldest month, because the day temperature sometimes drops below 10 degrees Celsius, and the cold weather is more pronounced. And also, if we see in the whole India, the northern part will be the coldest weather, means the northern part will be having the cold weather, whereas the South India, it has the, especially these coastal areas, they enjoy a moderate climate as temperature remains above 20 degrees. So this line is this lines in map 1 below indicate places that have the same average temperature for January. During winter, the weather is generally pleasant with clear sky, low humidity and cool breeze. Cyclone cyclone depressions coming from Mediterranean Sea called western disturbances cause low to moderate rainfall over northern India. This rainfall is a boon to wheat crop which is generally cultivated in Rabi season. So during the winter the weather is generally pleasant with clear sky and it has low humidity and cool breeze. So the cyclone depression coming from Mediterranean Sea, which is called as western disturbances, it caused low to moderate rainfall over North India. So this rainfall is a boon for wheat crop, means it is like with the rains only we can grow the crops. As these rain falls, it acts as a boon to wheat crop which is generally cultivated in Rabi season. India lies in the trade wind belt of northern hemisphere. Northeast trades blow over India from land to sea and are therefore dry. However, some amount of rainfall occurs on the Coromandel coast of Tamil Nadu from these winds as they pick up moisture from the Bay of Bengal while crossing it. So, what is happening? India lies in the trade wind belt of northern hemisphere. This even I told you in the before also that India lies in the trade wind belt of northern hemisphere and northeast trades they blow over India from land to sea and therefore they are dry. So however some amount of rainfall occurs on the Coromandel coast of Tamil Nadu from these winds. From which winds? From as the India lies in the wind belt of northern hemisphere, these northeast trades which they blow over India leaving the leaving India dry. So but some amount of rainfall occurs in the which place Coromandel coast of Tamil Nadu from these winds and they pick up moisture from the Bay of Bengal while crossing it. So I think you have understood till here. We'll be completing the remaining part of the lesson in the next session. Thank you. Have a good day.